What up, y'all? It's Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94. We are back for episode 116 of Shorty Sneaker Conversations, featuring King Fant. What's up, Ryan, aka Kicks? What's going on, man? What's up, 410 to 858? Kimberly Coleman, welcome. Mo Steps, what's going on? What's up, Jay Van? That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate y'all for all being here. And there is our guest. In a sec. You there, Fant?
Oh yeah, here I am, man. What's going on?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good, feeling good. I'm on one of the OGs, one of the OGs in the game.
Honored, man. Honored, man. I see you got all that heat behind you.
Ah, man, just a little something, just a little something.
And that diversity, I'm seeing Dornbecker boxes, SB boxes, Jordan
Yeah,
boxes. Woo.
yeah, just a little something, man. Just a little something. Talking about boxes, I remember the basement.
Uh,
If you want to talk about boxes now, I remember the basement.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was I was I was telling my old lady, I say this guy had hundreds of shoes before having hundreds of shoes was like the thing to have. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
You want to introduce you? I mean, everybody knows who you are already, but you want to introduce yourself to anybody who might not know who you are?
Oh, sure. All right, so I'm King Fant. I am half of the Supreme Sauce cast. I am shout out to my boy Ice Boss, and I am from Charlotte, North Carolina, 704. You know, stay reffing. And I am a sneaker enthusiast. I have been into sneakers since I can remember, man. The old East Bay, I remember sitting on the bed next to my uncle looking at the East Bay magazine, um, circling things. This is when the East Bay had ankle braces in there, jerseys, everything. Find everything in the East Bay.
Yeah, I remember you used to find, the authentics in there. They'd only be like $100, $130,
Yes, sir.
back in the now
Yeah,
authentic is
yes, sir.
300.
Crazy.
Okay. Before we get started, what's the most important thing you've been able to take from the world since the pandemic started?
Enjoy, enjoy your loved ones because you just never know. Enjoy your loved ones. I had a good friend who lost his wife during the whole pandemic stuff going on, and it just really hit home, man. I went through a lot personally myself with my family, and it opened my eyes to a lot, bro. Um, it was a good time in sneakers for me because I was able to get a good bit of grails for some nice prices. But as far as life in general, just enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Uh, excuse me. Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that. I can't believe it's been almost 3 years since the lockdown happened. It seemed like
Right.
a time ago, but not at the same time. So, um, I was still living in Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. I'm in Greensboro now, but
Okay. Okay. In the tray four.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But well, technically, right now I'm in Mebane, but I live in Greensboro now. But I think part of why it seems so long ago is because I've only lived in North Carolina since 20.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Seemed like part of it was so long ago because I wasn't here yet. But
Right. Right.
yeah, yeah. Well, so to get started, we start with some sneaker origins. What was your first sneaker moment or sneaker memory that kind of kicked everything off?
Oh man. Um. I thought about this when you asked me to be on the show, and it's crazy how your brain can go back to that moment when you saw that pair. I remember being at the Grady Cole Center here in Charlotte, youngin, out there for a Boys and Girls Club event. And this is at the time where sneakers, there was no resale, nothing like that, and people had nice shoes. So people had nice shoes. This had to be in 2000. And I remember seeing the infrared sixes. Somebody had took them off and put them down to go like get in a bounce house or something like that. And I remember seeing that shoe and just looking and just being so amazed, just looking like I have to have that shoe. Like it captivated me. So the sixes have been my favorite number Jordan. Um, to have, I have almost all the sixes that I wanted, but that infrared six that caught my eye and it stuck with me, man. It stuck with me.
That's the shoe that started it for me too.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. The infrared six was the shoe that started it for me. When it was just the new Jordan, I was in 4th grade, 91.
Uh-huh.
That was like the first year I could say I followed the NBA, and I was like watching whole games instead of just highlights.
Okay.
And of course, that was the year that shoe came out, and the Bulls beat the Lakers in the finals. But my dad, around April, he came home with him. He had the bag, the short set, the hat, and the shoes. Like he had the whole kit, and it was like they was glowing, and I just was like, I couldn't stop looking at it. Like that,
yeah,
and it just caught me. And since 1991, I've been a sneaker enthusiast. But that's the shoe that started it. So whenever a black and red six comes out, I have to have it.
It's special, man. And that last pair that dropped, they did it so right. They finally did them justice in my eyes from just because a few of the pairs, the red was off. The red was off. Now that infrared pack, that was kind of close. That was kind of close. But this last pair, perfect. They did that.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's a toss-up. The infrared pack was pretty good, too. I still say between the 2000 retro and the 2019, those are the two closest.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason the infrared doesn't get the nod, and it's blacked out anyway, so it's not like you can see it. But, I still like it. But I know a lot of people like the 2010 GR with the darker red. I went crazy for the 14 release with the pinker infrared because I really feel like back in the day, I really feel like they made them in varying shades. I don't think they meant to do that, but I've seen pictures of Jordan with pinkish pairs. I've seen pictures where the red was dark, so I think that, I think it depends on what factory you got your pair from. You know what I mean? Like, sort of like how the Jumpmans be facing, and sometimes like that or they be like that. So I think that influence part of it, but it's the 6 is my favorite Jordan to wear, and it's the model where no matter how it's colored, I'm gonna at least look at it like, should I?
Right.
So we're definitely on the same wavelength with that because last year I really wanted the Georgetown, and they have them at the Nike near me here, but they never have them in my size.
Okay.
So I still need that Georgetown, but after one, it's probably a toss up between 5 and 6 as far as the silhouette that I have the most of as far as Jordan. So that started it.
Yeah, that infrared 6, but I would say my favorite Jordan, like my all-time favorite Jordan is the Aqua 8, hands down.
Like brothers.
Yeah, it's the Aqua 8, man, because I mean it pays homage to Charlotte, to me, that aqua colorway, number one. And it was a shoe that was the colorway was just so out of the box at the time for it was the All-Star game. And the what was the first year they dropped? Was it '07? Was it '07? Okay. So the '07 pair, I actually had a job where I worked at Shutterfly in their warehouse, standing up 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., 12-hour shifts, right? That Aqua 8 was my go-to shoe during those times of my life, man. That shoe was like heaven to me when I put that thing on. I knew they was gonna support me for them 12 hours, and it was gonna be a dope pair.
Yeah, 2007 fall, those Godzilla Barclays with the big teeth. I used to go back and forth with, because they came out like at the same time. It was like late September '07.
Right.
That was a good time for sneakers. The game was still mostly pure. Like,
Yes.
the first time I really saw people try to resell sneakers was the DMP.
But
the year before, but the game was still like 85% pure back then. So
right.
Later, I'm gonna go. It's certain checkpoints in the game where it's like it changed then, it changed then, it changed then. So yeah, I miss those days.
Me too, man. It was a different climate, a totally different atmosphere when it came to sneakers. It was more for literally the love of the game, for lack of better words, than for the love of money at that time. And I feel like that's where the game has went. And for people who actually like the shoes, want
Yeah, I'll come in here. It's a little bit more. You got me all sneakery, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle of moving, so yeah, you got me real sneakery right now. So we're in the Jordan closet, but man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you.
Oh man. Yeah, it's all kinds of shit going on in here right now. I'm moving, so shit all over the place. But all right. After the 6, and then we'll say the 8, what was the next shoe that really like cemented your place in the game where you like, all right, this is the life I'm living right now. You know, this is it.
It's crazy I'm going from 6 to 8, but I have to mention the 7. I have to mention, and I know some people, the real OGs like to say the playoff 7s.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit younger, so I'll say the Raptor 7s. I know some people hate to hear that. I understand. I understand that.
Like nails on the chalkboard, but it's cool.
But I remember being in 7th grade, man, and anybody from Charlotte, you remember Freedom Mall and Foot Action. This was when I wore size 9, and I got the very last pair, and it was the display. You remember they used to put the 9s or the 8.5 as the display shoe.
Yeah.
And I had to grab them. My mom, she was finicky at the time. She didn't like getting the display shoe, but I wasn't leaving there without those. And I got those in 7th grade, and I remember seeing the looks on people's faces when I stepped on at school with those on, and it was like, okay, yeah, this, because at the time, Air Force Ones was the big thing at the time. And during that time when those first dropped, Air Force Ones were going crazy. I'm talking about different flavors, different material. This is when the canvas pairs were dropping. It was Air Force Ones was going crazy. So if you got a pair of Jordans at that time, you was kind of on another level. There.
So you talking about the black and red 7s? You talking like the '02 retro, the first?
'02, yeah, the '02, yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. O2. Yep.
that was a good time. Damn, you got me old. You said you was in 7th grade when those came out?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oldest boy.
Yeah. Young OG.
uh, that was an interesting release because it was one of the only times I can remember them coming out with colorways on the same day because those in the
hmm
came out. But okay, that's that black and red 7. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good one. They're up there. I was gonna pull them down, but I ain't even go. They all might come down on me. So
I know how that go. Trust me.
yeah, but all right. So now that I kind of have an idea of what era, I got to ask you, you before you started copy kicks yourself, what were or who were some of like your style influences? You was, not necessarily getting your own money, but you still was like fresh. Who was you looking at? And it could be, famous or somebody you actually do.
So I gotta first of all mention my uncle. Um, he was definitely the style pioneer for me. He taught me at a young age, hey, make sure your shoes are wiped off, make sure they clean, make sure you fit right. This guy, he was pivotal at watching him putting fits together. I remember when the what was it? The '01, was it 2001? When the three ones dropped on the same day, the black and red, black and blue, and the that gray pair, that gray and silver pair. Was that 2001?
Yeah.
I think it was 2001. It had the
Yeah, that was
little what you call?
the little jump
Say it
man.
again.
Little jump
Yeah,
man.
right. It had the little jump man. I remember my uncle had a girl who worked at Foot Locker actually bring his pairs to the house. Like he didn't even go to the store to get his.
Bar.
And that was like the dopest thing to me. I'm like, you not going to the store? He like, nah, nephew, she gonna bring him over here. She had on the referee shirt, everything, like fresh out the store, brought him straight to the house, which it was just love. But seeing him, he taught me, and Mom Dukes always kept me fresh. I got baby pictures with OG grape fives on with the Charlotte Hornet fit to match. She didn't play when it came to shoes either, so she's kind of helped my addiction, I would say, over the years. But as far as famous people go, uh, let's see, who was I looking at the time, man?
I
Uh,
got
Air Force Ones was big. Um, Jerseys was a big thing. Fab was going crazy with the jersey game. Um, I remember when Old Boy dropped and Cameron came out with the Air Force Ones with that
one.
matched his sweat. Oh my god, man! I would watch that video just for that part. All I wanted to see was the Air Force Ones in that joint, and he went crazy with those. Um, Cam has always been like an innovator in the fashion sense, and just pushing the envelope and everybody grabbing a hold to it. He just always had that type of effect on the game. Um, who else? Sneaker wise.
Let me just say right
Um,
quick.
go ahead.
Now, these are beat. I couldn't leave these in the store because they was like $12. They was at a thrift store, but even beat pairs. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like where these pictures
yeah.
into something. Oh man.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. I would have got him too. I would have got him too. Wipe them down and kept it pushing.
yeah. I'll tell you somebody who I used to look at, especially
Who's
since we're
that?
talking. The nigga Big Tigger used to always have shit early.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He was the
Yep.
only people I really saw really incorporate Jordans with urban clothes and urban jeans properly.
Right. Definitely.
Like I remember this one day, like I had just got both the fives when they came out in 2000, the black pair and the white pair,
Mm-hmm.
and he had these Echo jeans, and they were baggy, but like the way he wore them with the five tongue being so big, and he had it like perfectly tucked. That was something I borrowed, like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, like 7 years after. I'm like, man, I'm gonna still rock that like that, and you know, I
It's
used
a
to borrow a lot.
certain way. It's a certain way that and then, you know, it's not always. I'm glad you brought up that point. The way he used to rock the jeans, it's not always about the brand or whatever. It's about how you wear it. It's about how you wear it. Like some of the fits that you see on my page, Walmart
Yeah,
all day, Walmart, straight up.
I'm gonna say another. Just having I've worked for Foot Locker like 4 or 5 different times, so
Okay.
whenever like they had a little Foot Locker and Champ Sports brand stuff or the Foot Action
Mm-hmm.
brand stuff, shirt with nothing. A lot of them be good layering pieces. Like
Yep.
um, having to transition to North Carolina, you know, it's hot down here all the time, and you can wear. I ain't gonna say hot, but you know what I'm saying. Compared to Cleveland, Ohio,
Right. It's fair. It's fair weather compared to up north, definitely.
yeah. So, um, so not being able to layer as much, I don't feel like I dress as well down here because of the warmth, being from up north. But it's
Mhm.
still what you just said. It's how you rock it, and knowing, you know, you can make a Walmart tee look like it's a $50 tee if you do it right.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir. 100%.
like this is probably from Target. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I got a raw T-shirt. I don't have it here. I got this raw T-shirt with LL Cool J, and it was like kind of a weird purple and a weird yellow, and it went right with the Brotherhoods. Brotherhoods don't go with nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't go with
That
nothing.
that is a weird purple on that shoe. That is a weird. It's a dope colorway though. It's a super dope colorway.
Yeah,
Super dope colorway.
yeah. But okay, okay. Now, as we transition ahead a little bit, um, do you remember your first job and what sneaker you bought with your first money from
Most
work?
definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. My first job was at Zaxby's,
Mm,
and all of my homeboys worked there. All of my homeboys worked there, and it was like it wasn't a job. You know, it was that type of atmosphere when you walk in. We having fun. I was I was flipping the chickens. I was doing the chicken fingers. So that was my job. You know, and I remember that job because well, my first check is when the BMP came out, the beginning moments package, right?
okay. Oh, 07.
And yep, in '07. And I remember because I had to actually borrow money from my mom because I didn't get paid until like the next week. And so I was like, "Ma, listen, I'm getting my check. Let me borrow the money from you and I'll give it right back to you." And I still have those to this day. That was one of the shoes that one of the packages that I just had to have at that time, and that's the first pair of shoes that I bought with a working job check, and it was my very first check ever from working. Yep.
Nice. Okay. So give me a fit from like '07 or '08 that's kind of, because we all have them. That's kind of like etched in your mind where you like, yeah, I killed them niggas that day. You know what I'm saying? You think of, you got one in your mind you can think of?
Oh yeah, even thinking about the BMP package, man, those black and yellow ones, like because that was a good pair. That was definitely a good pair at that time. And when those black and yellow ones came out, I knew that, you know, people would go crazy with them, but I didn't want to do too much. and I just went simple black jeans. I think it was some Jabot jeans or something. White tee. But I remember it rained that day. I was hurt because it didn't start raining until I got to the bus stop, right? And it's a DS pair you wearing for the first time, and it's pouring down rain. But one thing that I did do that day that was pivotal is that I had a hand-me-down jacket, right? A hand-me-down jacket from Foot Locker, one of my big cousins gave me. And it was a yellow jacket. Went perfect with them. When I say I crushed them that day at school, I got even teachers was complimenting me that day. So it was like, okay, it was too easy. It was easy, but it was proper for that day, and it just went so perfect with it. Yeah, I remember that.
That remind me the one Cameron bar on One Way Up where he was like, thunderstorm, damn, monkey wrenching the fresh.
Yes, sir.
I know the feeling's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm under stocking them and it's raining now. So I feel that. With you being from Charlotte, before we kind of get to the halftime portion of the show, let's talk about. I know you talked about Freedom Mall. I have heard of it. What were some of the spots that you kind of went to there, and just other places around the Queen City where you was copy kicks back then?
Okay. So one of my best cops that I would say that I thought I was gonna miss out on was the Defining Moments package. When that dropped, and at this point my dad had got sick of waking up early to take me to get shoes. I had set up another way to get them, and it was only one mall in the city that got like all of the exclusives. And people from Charlotte know about Eastland Mall. Okay, you can go to Eastland Mall literally and buy a whole wardrobe, like from Harold Penner to Foot Action to Foot Locker. They had literally everything in Eastland Mall, and it was the only place that was getting a Defining Moments package. So I remember waking up that morning, not knowing how I was going to get there, just up early. And I remember my pops coming in the room, put your shoes on, I'll take you. And by this time it was like 8 o'clock, and I know that at that time you would have to get to the mall at least around 7 to get in line to make sure that you secure your pair. And it was around 8 o'clock. Didn't make it to the mall until about 8:20, and I got there and I'm like, hey, it's not that many people here. So I looked across the way, and I think it was Foot Action. It was a line there. And then I looked at Foot Locker. It was nobody in Foot Locker. I remember going in there, say, do y'all have a package? Said, what size? Told them my size. And I remember seeing that gold box come from behind that counter, man. It was like a movie moment. Like I heard, and that was like one of my best sneaker purchases that I always remember, man, because not everybody was able to get that package.
Yeah.
That was the first package Jordan dropped, and I would go on record saying it was the best package that Jordan dropped, because at that time nobody had seen sixes for a while. People, of course, knew about the Concord colorway, but it was refreshing, man. It was refreshing.
Yeah, neither of those models, like the Concord, that retro was October of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
6 hadn't been out since 2000, so
Yeah.
And I remember the pack was supposed to come out a little sooner, and it got pushed back. I know it came out on January 28th of 06.
Listen,
I don't know
man.
a lot of these dates. It's weird. I can't remember last week.
I remember people going crazy on Nike Talk. Will it have the gold letters or not? Some people getting early pairs with the bleeding on there. And this was at the time where only a few people got early pictures of it. Now everybody had early pictures, everybody had early pairs, but it wasn't like that then. It was like you really had to be into the sneakers to know, like, yo, they pushed that back. Yep, because they were supposed to drop that October or November, and they pushed it back to that January.
Yeah, I think they were supposed to come out around Thanksgiving or maybe Black
Around
Friday.
Thanksgiving. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I remember when it was first advertised, because that was, it was back when the Dub Zero was still like hot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was supposed to be those, and it was a white, black, and red Dub Zero. Of course, the black and red 14s. That was the Christmas shoe, and it was like
That's a shoe I never liked. Shorty, that's a shoe I've never liked, man. You know what I got that year?
What's that?
I got the Crazy Eights.
I've never owned the regular black and white Crazy 8. I've always had that all-star colorway that he wore when Jordan was wearing it. But,
Yeah, with the purple and gold 8 on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's been the one Kobe that's eluded me more than any of them. It's always been that, because it came out, I was working for Foot Locker in 07. I was moonlighting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I know these are going to go on sale. Don't nobody know what these are. The white, black, and red, the white, black pair too. And they just never went on sale. So I don't.
No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
The only 14 I can say I love is the white, black, and red one, the first one.
Okay.
Because that's the one I had back then. But and I remember Redman had it on in the I'll Be That video, and just a couple other places had it. Because sometimes the shoes they have the persona, because it's like, all right, it's Jordan, Michael Jordan. But when I think of 5s, I still think of Will Smith.
You got to. You have to. It's certain shoes where you think of a certain person wearing that specific shoe.
Yeah, like with the Concords, I think of Criss Cross, Tonight's the Night. But the main thing I think of, other than Jordan wearing them, is the episode of Martin when Gina was in some play and Busta Rhymes, "Woo Ha, got you all in check." Cause my Jordans, he got on the Jordans.
Yep. Yeah. See, when I think of the 5s, I think about Dwayne Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes to my mind when I think about the 9s, the white, black, and red 9s. I think about Will Smith and Jazz when Jazz was getting married.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think about. Cause at that time we seeing a shoe that was attainable, that we can rock on national TV. It was amazing, man. It meant so much, and it being a black brand, a black player that had so much notoriety at the time.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every Jordan, there's some other entity aside from Jordan himself that'll make me think of that shoe. With the Board 07, Kadeem Hardison wore those quite a bit on A Different World too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he would always have the dark colorway, and Ron would always have the white color.
Yep.
So I do remember that.
They kept them laced though.
Yeah, and then being older, it's like, oh, Nike gave them that stuff. I'm like, man, I guess they rich so they could buy the Jordans. That's how I used to think when I was a kid. But not realizing it was all product placement, because even Jerry, Seinfeld, like, he had the Bo Jacksons, the Sport Blue 6, the great 5s. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of that is just product placement. But as we go to halftime now, we're halfway through the show. I usually do either or, where, I've looked at your page. I feel like I know a little bit more about you between that and, of course, talking to you for these first 30 minutes. So I'm going to ask you some either or questions relating to Charlotte, relating to sneakers, hip hop, all these things.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Being from Charlotte, I know that none of the teams are really old. I know the Hornets started in 1988, Panthers, 94. So if you had to pick, I think I know, but if you had to pick between the Panthers winning a Super Bowl and the Hornets winning the NBA Finals.
Panthers win the Super Bowl or the Hornets winning the finals. Oh, I would love both of those. But I would have to put, man, I think I would rather the Panthers win the Super Bowl. I think I would pick the Panthers win the Super Bowl. And the reason being is because that's one game and I know I'll be able to go to that game. But the finals, that's a series. I probably won't be able to make all them games. I got kids, Shorty.
I feel you know the tickets is gonna be sky high whenever a team gets good because
Bingo. Yup.
it was. We were fortunate that when LeBron was on the Cavs before Miami, my dad and I were already season ticket holders. So
Oh,
we were
wow.
kind of like, we were grandfathered into a lot of that. But when
Mm-hmm.
LeBron came back, it was like a whole other thing. And it was just like, we would go down there, but it wasn't like how it was before. It was a lot more expensive. It was different, 4 years time. Because
Mm-hmm.
even we kept our season tickets until 2013. Like if I knew he was gonna come back, I'd have just,
Right.
you know what I mean?
You would have kept him. You would have kept him. It would have been no reason to get rid of him.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Once they fired Byron Scott, I was just like, man, I don't know what the Cavs are doing. And then they hired Mike Brown again, and they were bad. And then LeBron came back the year later. I'm like, damn, I should have kept him. But, yeah, I feel you. I mean, since the Cavs have already won a championship, for me, I would guess it would be between the Browns and the Guardians. I still call them the Indians, but the Guardians.
Okay.
I'd probably still rather the Browns win over the Indians because I've seen the Indians be good. The Browns haven't been consistently good since I was like 10. So, it's been
a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
So, yeah. But, okay. Now, we're both in the sneakers. We both have black and red and UNC colored sneakers in our collections. But if you had the only colorway between the two, only bread or only UNC, what you picking?
I'm going bread, man. I'm going bread all day.
Even though you're from Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going bread all day. I'm a Duke fan. It's Blue Devil Nation over here, so I'm going bread all day. Yeah.
Duke.
Yes, sir. It's the Blue Devil Nation. Listen. I'll be in the group chat fighting for my life. What R. Kelly said, I'm fighting for my life. I'll be in the group chat going against everybody because everybody Tar Heel fans. I'm the only Duke fan out of like 12 people.
Wow. Because I remember when I got my North Carolina driver's license and I turned in my Ohio one, they were like, all right, so you live here now. So what blue are you? And I didn't know what they were talking about. They're like, what blue are you? And I'm like, oh, you mean UNC or Duke? And I'm like, well, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Vince Carter. I got to go with UNC. And I've always wondered, because in Ohio, we just have one of everything. Because see, and I know this is going to sound bad, but I equate liking Duke to liking the Boston Celtics or something like that. Like, it's one of the institutions. It's always been like a great white hope, Christian Laettner, or, how does that happen?
But you see, when I think about Duke, I think about the people that I've actually watched when I played. It was Jay Williams. You know what I'm saying? That's my all-time favorite Duke player. I hate he got into that accident when he got into the league. But yeah, that's my all-time. Like nobody shot that ball like Jay Williams.
So not Redick, not Kyrie, not Jason Tatum, not Grant Hill.
See, Redick was special. Don't get me wrong. Redick was special. Kyrie was on a whole nother level when it came to ball handling and getting to the cup. He couldn't be stopped then, and he can't be stopped now. But as far as just pure shot, commanding on the floor, just a floor general, Jay Williams, he takes the cake for me, man.
Okay, all right. Okay. because I mean, other players of note, and I know Maggette went there. Of course, Elton Brand.
Grant, can't forget Grant.
Oh yeah, Grant Hill, of course.
We got some shooters, man. Tatum, Zion,
Oh
um,
yeah, Zion
you know.
and Jason.
And the crazy thing about it, my argument, whenever anybody brings up UNC and Duke and Jordan and all this, it's like every Duke player that leaves that when they transition to the league, he signs them to Jordan brand. Look at Tatum, look at Paulo, look at Zion.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy how that happened?
Yeah, just like for a while he was doing that with UConn too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ray Allen and
Real.
Rep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we both love the Air Jordan 6. It's the shoe that started us both.
Mm-hmm.
You can't you can't have the black infrared and you can't have the Carmine. Arguably, those are the two best OGs.
Right.
So the white infrared, the sport blue, September blue, whatever you want to call it, and the maroon. Out of those three, one you take.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go maroon, man. That is a beautiful shoe. I love my maroons, man. That is a beautiful shoe. Whenever I bring them out, I always get, wow, you kept them so clean. But the truth be told, it's just a shoe that has withheld amazingly over time. I love that maroon. Even though I'm a September baby, born in September, September blue. It has a spot in my heart, of course. But that maroon pair is, yeah, that's them. I'll pick those.
Okay. I think this is just me being an old head. I'm probably still gonna take the white Jordan.
White and red.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like the sport blue, September blue. I probably would still have it even if it wasn't an OG, but I mainly have it because it's an original color.
Right.
Seinfeld is one of my favorite shows. Always gonna think of him first because it's only been a few pictures surfaced of Michael Jordan wearing either of those shoes. Those are the maroons in like from a catalog, Nike catalog.
Right.
But, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lineup or raffle?
I'm gonna go line up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go line up. I always ate with the lineup because I always seem to know somebody or meet somebody in the line, and it's all love. But that raffle, boy, them people in them raffles, hey, if you don't know somebody at that store in the city, you show.
And see, I'm gonna say right quick. I understand. To me, the Adidas Yeezy is kind of what killed in-store first come first serve for safety, reasons. But it sucks for people that are young that genuinely want to be in the game without trying to be resellers or just on some hype beat shit that really want to be in it. But you really can't create the same relationships like you and I created with people back in the day,
right?
Because it's digital. And to me, that's one of the things that sucks the most because it's kind of like, all right, you put out the shoe in the raffle, but if you're gonna restock it in the store sometime. You don't always have to do an online restock.
Exactly. Let it be a shoe to where people just walk in and it's just there.
Yeah, because it's to the point where I'm always gonna love Jordans. They're such a pillar in my shoe collection, but now what excites me is like if it's not an original that at this point I'm basically replacing because the old one isn't wearable anymore. Exactly. Like I really like cement threes, like all of my white cement threes aren't wearable anymore. But Um, I'm more excited for like a really good made Air Force One or a really good. Uh, I'll still be wanting to try out new technology, LeBrons and
Mhm.
KD.
Mhm.
That they're, it's not like the old days, but I
Right.
really.
And speaking of new technology, man, it's like they stop focus on creating dope newer models and focus more on collabs
Yeah,
of older stuff. And I feel like that is causing the hype train to just derail at this point. Like it has derailed at this point. And speaking about the relationship factor between the stores, you're right. You can't create that relationship because you don't know the person motive at that point. You know, the motive now is money, plain and simple. It's money. People don't care about what drop, when it drop, the nostalgia of it. It's the money factor.
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Sucks.
It does. It does.
Oh man.
It does.
All right. Let's jump ahead to the third quarter, which is kind of like sneaker present. Um, we'll just say since the pandemic, so the last 3 years, what's the hardest L you've taken on a shoe you really wanted that you weren't able to get?
Shoes I wanted to get. So since the pandemic, man, there's been so many pairs. Um, I would say I really wanted that undefeated Kobe pack. I really wanted that pack. I was sick. I didn't get that. I think it was the fives. It was the fives, the undefeated five pack because it had the Charlotte pair and then it had that multicolor pair.
Yeah.
Um, and the undefeated pack. I really wanted that. Um, my 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 other part of the Supreme Sauce cast, he actually hit for a pair. Got him for retail, and seeing his pair was like, I gotta get them. I still haven't got them yet. They're still on my list. Prices are just a little bit too crazy for me right now, but I'll have them eventually.
Yeah. Now, I want to say the blue Pata Air Max 1 and the Off-White 2, probably the ones like I really wanted the Union for the black one.
Mm-hmm.
Over all of those shoes, the hardest L I took was early in the pandemic. It was the Flint 13.
Me too. Me too.
From our era, because you're from back in the day too. From our
Mm-hmm.
era, you hear full family, you like, well, if it's full family, it's gonna be a whole bunch of parents, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, plentiful.
And
Yep.
the first few pandemic releases, the the um the Jordan 1, the Court Purple, the 2.0, the Purple Chicago, as I call them, those weren't hard to get, even though I didn't get them. That's kind of a regret, but they don't go for that much.
Mm-hmm.
The DMP6, the Fire Red 5, and I feel like I'm leaving another shoe out, but you could just get them. People would sell you the shoe out the door or whatever if you couldn't come in the store or whatever.
Right.
But that Flint 13 was different, and it let me know that the game was really different because
Mm-hmm.
that is a regular ass shoe. It's retro 2 other times, and both times, like the 2010, it was Black Friday, so yeah, they sold out. But in '05, they sold out, but it took a couple of days because the gray was too dark. They were big.
Those flew here.
Yeah,
Those joints flew. '05? Yes, sir. Those flew. I remember lining up for
yeah.
them. I remember the fit. Had on a gray Dickie suit with them.
Ooh,
Yeah. I remember the fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
when they came out in '98, the standard fit for them. I was in 11th grade. That was like around the time I was working, so I was home. It was the white Nautica shirt with the blue boat in the pocket right
Okay.
here, and then
Okay.
the gray Nautica sweats with the pocket on the back with the blue boat, because it all matched the blue in the shoe with the gray. That was like the go-to fit back then. And of course, you had like a herringbone or something like that. You had to have it
Fresh.
on play.
Fresh.
Yeah. You show up to the high school basketball game, the chicks to see you with the, yeah, I got
Yeah, I'm him. Yeah, you see it.
yeah,
Nothing like walking in the gym with a fresh pair on, fresh
yeah.
fit. Nothing like it.
What you getting into later? But
Yes, sir.
it's a shoe, having the other three pairs. Like, I wanted to make a video for my YouTube where I was comparing all four pairs. I just can't sell for that shoe. I just can't bring myself to do it because that's a regular ass shoe.
Yeah.
That's why, like, if I found a good condition used pair for like 150, 180, I do it. But I ain't giving no 50, 300 for that shoe. Nah. I'll just ride out with the semi yellow pies. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. I agree. I feel the same way. And it's a pair that I've always loved. 13s. That's another number Jordan that I would put up there for me. Simply because like the colorways, that 3M hit, like that's why I couldn't do the 2010 pair, because that no 3M, I was hurt. I felt betrayed by Jordan Brand. How could you drop these with no 3M?
Yeah, that's one of the parts of the shoe that make it. And the blue was it was like too blue as well. It was like too bright. Like the 98 pair, it was kind of like it wasn't navy, but it wasn't royal. I feel like that pair from 10, it looked halfway royal in certain pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I did sneaker anticipation a couple hours ago. I was talking about these things. It's the 11 pair. But, I just, what are your feelings on those? Because they cool, but it's been so many black 13s come out over the last couple years. If you're not like us, do you care?
I didn't, man, because my 11 pair is still good. Like I wore my 11 pair a few times before the last pair. When they dropped last week? No, they dropped this week, don't they?
Yeah, they come out tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, they drop tomorrow. I wore my 11 pair a couple times, and nothing wrong with them. So it's like, why, when you have so much stuff in the vault? I mean, I understand it is a classic colorway, but for people that have hundreds of shoes, it's like, yo, we still got those. Let's bring out some dope 10s. Let's roll into the 16s. Let's roll into the 17s. Let's do some other things, man. But like I say, I like 13s, so I'm not mad at it. I just see it as a pair I don't need to get again, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna just say this with 17. I just feel like they haven't really retroed it for real, other than some collabs and that. The case, the Croc. I really don't think they know how much to make it.
That is the same thing I thought. They don't know the price point to put them at, and I feel like they're pushing them back each year to try to squeeze the community to the point where when they drop, it's like, oh, they 400. Forget it, man. I'm gonna pay 400 for it anyway. If I'm not able to get it, I'll just go ahead and pay it. That is what I feel that they're trying to do. Now, will they do that? I'm not 100% sure, but it's like, since they were at 200 when they first dropped,
they got to be at least 300 now.
At least 350, I'll say, especially if they come with the suitcase. At least 350.
You can't not have that's like a part of that shoe. You can't not have the suitcase.
Right.
Right. but yeah, I don't think they know how to really approach that retro. That's why they're like, all right, well, we'll come out with the 17 plus with the Croc. We'll make it
Mhm.
250, and then we'll kind of see what goes from there. And you know,
But see, they have to realize that was kind of like a spinoff, though.
yeah,
Like, don't get me wrong, I love that shoe. I have the OG sitting right there, but it's like it was a spinoff of the 17, so the masses, I don't think really appreciated that shoe
mm,
as well as it should have been appreciated. Um, but drop those white and red and that white and what was it, university blue? No, one university blue, like sport blue colorway.
yeah.
When drop those, man, it'll go crazy. It'll go
It,
crazy.
even the black ones will go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Just those.
Yep.
None of the
Yep.
lows, pop your collar, none of that. You know,
Yep.
just um, and then maybe make some new colors, and the new color doesn't have a suitcase or something. I don't know. There's some things you could do. But what was your biggest win you feel like you've gotten over the last couple of years?
My biggest win, I would say, came last year from the sneakers app. And this was like 2 out of the 3 W's that I got off the app, which is crazy. Out of all the shoes that dropped, I got exclusive access for the Mambacitas, the black ones. I was shocked. And then I got exclusive access for the Lost and Founds, super shocked. And so I would say those were my 2 biggest W's because I wasn't paying resale for neither one of those, but I wanted the shoes, you know. But I'm not that resale guy anymore. I have way too many shoes to wear to pay resale unless it's a shoe that I just have to have. Nah.
Yeah, that lost and found was a hard L because like I have a '94 Chicago that I still wear, but
Mm-hmm.
I really need a newer pair. And even though I was running a store that had the Chicago's in 2015, I didn't buy them. So that's a regret. Shattered backboards are also a regret because I could have had both of those discounted. But I needed those lost and founds, but they like $480 in a 12. I can't pay that
It's
for.
crazy.
It came out
It's crazy,
months
man.
ago. That's a GR. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a
Right.
or anything limited. It's just a regular shoe that So
And that brings back the conversation of a lineup or like the virtual raffle. I feel like a lineup would have been better for those. It would have allowed more people to actually get out the house and go get it because some people don't even want to leave their house. They just want to get online, set up their bot, and just let that bot cook. You know, we used to the days of you got to put in that footwork. I'm going to Eastland Mall, and then I'm gonna come back on the way back to the South Side. I'm gonna hit Freedom Mall. Um, I might hit Midtown Square back in the day. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna hit Carolina Place, see if they got them. I'm gonna try Dick's Sporting Goods, see if they got like, it would be a trip around the city trying to get shoes.
yes,
Now, just one button. Boop.
yeah, yeah. I hate that. Uh, okay. Um, before we go to the fourth quarter, I guess my last question would be, for the game the way it is now, what's something about today's game that you like, and what's something about the game back in the day that you didn't?
Hmm. Um, I would say, dang, something that I didn't like back in the day. I don't know if there's something I didn't like, man, because it was like it was was so pure back in the day. Like I can remember piling up in my homie Mama Bonneville going to get the Cardinal sevens. Everybody trying to decide they getting the white and gray ones or they getting the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was a moment. It was a moment back then. Now I do like I know I talk about, pressing that one button, being able to get the shoes, but I do like that accessibility from the house but the only thing about that is you just never know. Somebody with a bot can clear out the whole stock. Just like when you think about the orange lobsters. Who who actually hit for orange lobsters retail? Not many people. Not many people at all. So it's with the good and the bad, man. Over time, the game gonna change, and you either get with it or you have to pay that ticket.
Yeah. I guess if I had to pick something I didn't like from back then, it was it's not really a bad thing, but it used to annoy me sometimes when certain stores would only get certain colorways. I was like, man, why can't everything just be everywhere? I got to go all the way over there. Like Foot Action used to have their own colors. I used to work for Foot
Mm-hmm.
Action.
Yeah.
They used to have before Foot Locker bought them. They used to have their own dunks. They were main people with foams in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess lack of accessibility to everything was something that used to annoy me. And now I guess what I do like about things now is just some of the accessibility in the accessibility to information as well. Because I mean, we already know what's coming out of Christmas and it's February,
Right.
so
Right.
you know
Right.
I do enjoy that that aspect of it. It does kind of create the hype sometimes, but I really feel like we're going back into a period of, Jordans are starting to cool off for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, just I don't know. We're in kind of a weird space. I feel like we're not quite where we were before the pandemic, but we're not where we were the year before last, where everything was just selling out no matter what it was. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
What do you think is causing that though? Because I thought about that the other day. People aren't really buying the way they have been buying the last couple years, and from my perspective, I think it's
yeah,
oversaturation.
it's too.
Like it's just too much stuff dropping back to back to back on top of collabs that 80% of people have to pay resale for if they really want it.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
oversaturation.
Like like I used to tell my wife, it would be a lot easier to do this if I was just into Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so much better being into everything because
Right.
since stuff coming out literally 7 days a week, it's a shoe every day. You kind of like,
Literally.
you know,
Yep. Yep.
like what am I gonna, what am I gonna get? So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, it would be easier if it was just Jordans because it's like, oh well, I don't like the twos or I don't like the eights or I don't like the sixes, so I'm gonna just focus on ones and 11s or I'm gonna just get ones. There's people out there like that. I wish
Oh
that I
yeah,
could
it is.
focus on one shoe, but
I just can't do it. I like variety. I do. Of course, Jordans will always hold a spot, the top spot, I'll say. But like New Balance has been incredible the last year or two for me as far as comfort wise. Just moving around, dope shoes, dope colorways, crazy collabs with Joy Fresh, what's his name, Soleil. Um,
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. They've definitely struck a chord to where I think Nike's had to realize, hey, we've got real competition. For a minute it was Asics, then of course it was Adidas, and now it's New Balance. So, um, it's such an odd time. Um, as we go to the final quarter, just a couple last questions. With you collecting and having hundreds of sneakers, where would you like to see your collection go in the future?
Um, Man, I have been contemplating that question all this year because it's like I don't go nearly as many other places as I went years ago. Like I'm not going out to the club no more, you know. I go out with my boys every now and again. Half the time I'm with the family, you know. Do I really need hundreds of shoes?
It's a fair
You
question.
know,
Yeah.
do I really need hundreds of shoes? And it's still, you still have that grail list, those shoes that you've been eyeing for years that you still want, and then every now and again I'll see a new drop now that I might want. But most of the time I look at it and it's like, I want it, but I don't really need it, you know. So I would say I want to have less pairs than I do now, um, but not more. Definitely not more. Because I don't. Every shoe that I get, I'm gonna put the foot, plain and simple. They're gonna touch earth. That's just how I am when it comes to sneakers. Last year I attained one of my sneaker goals, getting the PE. I got the Veteran Day 16 PEs, and I know some people would say, "Man, those are PEs. They're worth this. They're worth that." But it's like, no. As soon as summer hit, you'll see them. You'll see them on my foot because it's like it's a shoe, man. I like being out and seeing people with shoes on that you don't necessarily normally see, because it's like, okay, what bothers me is that the Travis Scotts, they'll sell out 2.8 seconds, gone. But every time I'm out, I don't see nobody wearing them. Nobody. It's like, okay, are y'all wearing the shoes? Are y'all creating shoe museums in your house? What's going on, man?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. All right. Well, what's on your radar next?
Say that one more time. You froze on me.
Okay. I know you're not trying to add more, but is there anything on your radar this year where you're like, I may need to grab those?
So I've actually only gotten one pair so far this year, and that's the 1906, the gray pair from the protection pack or whatever you want to call it from New Balance. And I have been wearing that shoe nonstop, man. They're so comfortable, so versatile. Um, However, a couple pairs that's on my list are the threes, the white cement threes. I never had a pair of those. I want to add those to the collection. And the Zoom Generation, the first game, LeBron's that drop next month, I have to have those. I feel like that's a good shoe. LeBron is, is top tier to me on and off the court, and I like him as a person and as a player. So, and I love that shoe. I love that shoe too. I hate that it took me so long to actually get hip to him or whatever, but I like that shoe.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Before we go, do you have any questions for me?
Um, how do you do it, man? You have been collecting for a long time. Like you say, you were living in Maryland and you moved to Greensboro, man. Moving all those shoes. Are you gonna move all those shoes? Or are you just gonna leave the Maryland house as your shoe house? I know you got enough to fill every room, man.
Well, um, I'll tell you how I'm gonna do it. in the DM.
Okay, okay, good deal, good deal, good deal. My man gonna rent a 18-wheeler.
Yeah, it's some moving pieces with that, but
Yeah, I bet, I bet.
yeah, but yeah, man, it's you know the last couple years, my main focus has just been. I mean, I still have been buying Nikes. I haven't actually bought any shoes this year yet, but I've really been into Converse. I work for Converse, but I've really
Mhm.
it's kind of allowed me to enjoy the game from a purity place. Because I mean, it's Converse to sell out too. They're all collabs generally, but
Right.
there have been times where just regular black and white high top Chucks have sold like Jordans. You know,
Mm-hmm.
age girls, but that's kind of what's kept me in it. I'm a little chucked out right now because I went so hard. There's
I've
so many.
seen, man. You have been wearing Chuck collabs that I have never seen, like them Rick Owens joints. I was like, yo, he is. Where is he getting these from?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll tell anybody with Converse, my vintage ones are still my favorites. Like I got random Converse 500 from 1993. It's just like a regular run of the mill basketball sneaker, but
Hmm.
I was having all of the Aero Jams, and I know you got pairs of them. Uh,
Oh
are,
yeah, for sure.
um, so even though I do wear a lot of Chucks, I try to find all of the basketball ones. Like for a while there, I was trying to find all the Wades. I was able to find most of them. That black and white Wade one that he won the championship in. That's
Hmm.
then he really eluded me. You
Okay,
know,
okay.
when they whenever they have it, it's never anything 11 through 12, which is what I wear, or either it's $800.
Crazy.
Not even dead stock. It's just the Wade championship Heat 2006. I'm like $800. Like man, I get you
And
150.
and and then the crazy thing is Nike owns them.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna just say this, and I hope I don't get in trouble if anybody's watching from the company. I just feel that at times what Converse can do is dictated by Nike.
Hmm.
And this is just my
Okay.
on behalf of Nike or Converse, but it's kind of like I feel like when the Blazers get hot, you stop seeing pro leathers because they're so similar.
Hmm.
I feel like the weapon would be a shoe that you would see a lot more of Jordan 1s and Dunks weren't so hot because they're so similar.
Okay.
So I feel like they're about heritage, but I feel like it's only to an extent. There's no Nike shoe that really looks like a Chuck Taylor. They've made some, but they're not
Right.
really, I feel like their focus is more on that. And um, Converse is kind of like a vehicle for a lifestyle that's not athletic.
Hmm.
But I really wish that they would go in the vault and bring.
Yeah. Bring some of the waves back. Bring some of the Rodmans back. Come on. Let drop.
My only other theory is it may be a royalty issue.
Hmm. That
I
makes
don't
sense.
really, I'm not saying it is, but
Hmm.
that's the
Hmm.
only thing I come up with. Maybe it's a royalty issue
That makes
because like
sense.
you can't bring out you can bring out the weapons, but they're known as magics and birds, but there's not.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a royalty issue.
Yeah. 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 It might be. It might be. Just like but I hate when brands are I feel like they're stingy at a certain point when they have a a amazing shoe that an athlete actually brought to the forefront, and then they want to re-release it, and then they take the athlete completely out of the way, like Reebok done with the Big Hurts, like Converse done with the Grandmama joints. Like you still need to pay homage to that player, because without that player, that shoe would not be what it was.
Yeah, I agree. Nike did it with KG with the Flight Posit
Yep.
2 and
Mm-hmm.
call it the Air 3 LE. Like only retro once. Like, come
Right.
on, man. You know, even though they got back cool, the first time they retroed a lot of those Agassiz, it didn't have the flaming tennis ball. It
Mm-hmm.
just was a Nike. You know, it's just like, it's not really the same. It's like some of that stuff is like, why even bring it back? If it's not gonna be right, why even bring it back?
Stingy, man. Stingy. Stop being so stingy. They making it. It's not like they're not making the money from all the other stuff they're dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And to be real, when you add those players back into the campaigns, and even if you drop the OG and then you come back with a collab and you have that athlete in those campaigns, it's going to bring forth the new sneakerheads, the OGs, because you dropping it all. You're not just centered upon just,
The collab.
just the shoe, just the collab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really wish it was more that could be done with a lot of these brands, and that's why I appreciate people like Don C, because he brought back the ERX 260,
Hmm.
Converse, uh, you know, making shoes like the Legacy 312, which isn't necessarily my cup of tea, but it's a well-made shoe.
Right.
You need more of that out there.
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. I mean, it's Converse is really what's kept me kind of interested, because it's the
Hey, Auntie.
same it's the same up tempos. It's like it's the same thing, and with Nike having the catalog that they have, it's like, come on, man.
Right. Right. So, such an extensive catalog. Such an extensive catalog. I mean, even the up tempos, like you bringing back certain up tempos. I can remember the up tempo line went crazy when it first came. I was a youngin, but I remember my pops used to get nothing but up tempos.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man. I really hope that there are different releases. Every now and then they'll throw us something, but it's the same 12 to 15 shoes. It's the same, with Jordan, it'd be 1 through 6. If you see a
Hmm.
sort of collab or something weird, same thing with the 8, the
Hmm.
9s, dudes. They've kind of stopped making 10s over the since the pandemic. I feel like that Seattle 10 was probably the last 10 we saw, and that was
Yeah.
19.
Right.
The 11s are the Christmas shoe every year. That's getting old. And the 12s and the 13s, if it's not an OG, it's mainly for the hood.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it'd be something.
I don't understand why they just touch on the shoe sometime, like as far as the white and navy 16s. Okay, they dropped those. We didn't see no more 16s. What, like, why did y'all stop production on the 16s so crazy like that? Then they come back and they release a pair of 16s with a Westbrook pack.
Oh yeah, with that Chuck. Yeah, that was that.
How,
I
how
wanted
crazy is that
to.
though? Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. The 16, it was a straight shoe. It wasn't a bad shoe at all. But it's like, where did this come from? Why would you just drop the white navy, then out of the blue you just drop a black pair with this Westbrook
Weird.
pair? It's like, what are you doing?
And then you obviously have the mold. You can make the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
The thing
Mm-hmm.
about that white navy 16 was that it was 250. Like, why is that shoe 250?
It's a 16. They're going to charge more. Wait till those 17s. Wait till they finally say, all right, they're gonna push the button on the 17s. You're gonna see 3.
Well, when the 18 came out, and when the even the 19, like they were 225. I don't know. I think um, sometimes it is the price,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I'm cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too, man. Listen, when it comes to some of the shoes that I've gotten, people won't even believe what I paid for them. But it's just like when you're so engulfed in it, and you just go on websites just to see what they have. Sometimes you just find gems. Like I posted the other day those white and flint gray nines that I have. People wouldn't believe that I paid like 120 for those.
Compare
Like,
from '02.
yeah, 120.
Mm.
And I got those from Index PDX. Got those from there. One day I'm at work on break, just happened to be online looking, and I seen them. I'm like, man, those gotta crumble or something. Shot them an email, and customer service is fantastic out there. Shout out to the guys at Index PDX. Sent me pictures of them. I'm like, it's an old shoe. It might crumble. It might not. 120. I'll try it. Man, them shoes, perfect. Nothing wrong with them at all. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
it's just,
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I was just gonna say, just the luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah. That's probably the only shoe from that era that I never had as far as a retro plus colorway. I
Hmm.
never had that. I was set on the cool grays, and they were like months apart in '02. Because I even
Right.
got the white and chrome low tops, those white and blue low tops. I didn't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
I didn't get those, but yeah, that's one of the only ones I'm missing from that era. And I thought it would have
Yeah.
came back, but it just hasn't.
That's one of them pairs was like, okay, what you waiting on? If you're not gonna drop those, come on, give me the cool gray nines. Cause me personally, I like the cool gray nines over the cool gray 11s. I know a lot of people would stone me for that, but I like the cool gray nines over the 11s. It's that silhouette with that cool gray, and it just hit a little bit different to me.
Yeah, it's a good shoe. It's a good shoe. Still got the '02. I never had the 12. But okay, okay. Man, look, I appreciate you, being here today, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate the invite.
Uh,
Definitely, man.
no problem, man. I'm gonna definitely be in touch. I'm gonna hit you up when I make that hour and a half drive down to Charlotte. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, please do, man. Please do. We'll grab a bite to eat, man. Hit up some spots. Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you again. Hey, thanks to everybody in the chat, everybody that joined. On behalf of my wonderful guest here, King Fent, Shorty C94, we're gonna get on out of here. If you missed it, watch the replay. It's gonna be on this page. So follow this man, and we will see you soon. Peace.